You want to give a little explanation of what's going on?
Well, it's the outline of the outhouse, and it's 8 feet long. It's going to have a toilet, and it's going to have a tabletop where you can wash, have a shelf with water available, garbage cans and stuff like that. Gray water drainage straight down the hill. It's going to be underground so it doesn't freeze up or anything like that, so it's going to be 60 inches down. We're going to put this on railroad ties and then just create a floor structure on that, so we could potentially pull the whole building with on top of the railroad ties.
So the next step is to start grading this little area, right? Or are you going to start with the trenching down below?
I'm going to mark the trenches and then dig those out and come uphill so that there's a place for water to flow. It was a lot of work, but I dug this whole thing out.
You dug it all out by hand, right?
Right.
Right here is where the structure is going to be built, and then that is a drainage trench for any non-solid waste. So any urine or whatever will go down underground and drain out into kind of a mini septic system. That pipe over there goes down into the ground, into a gravel bed, where a perforated pipe can disperse any water. And then at the very end, we put a Home Depot bucket faced downward. We also got some landscaping fabric to surround the gravel bed so no dirt or anything leaches in and clogs up the gravel bed. And we especially don't want any dirt clogging up the perforated pipe holes. Basically, this is where the outhouse is going to go. This pipe's going to come right up under into the structure, and then over here, this cutout is where we have the gravel bed. We decided to use crushed rock for the gravel drainage pit, just so that the perforated pipe in there wouldn't get crushed, because we're piling a whole bunch of dirt on top of it. And as soon as all this gets covered up, we can actually create a final grade, and then we can get building. Since Matthew and Ashley moved out, we decided to move Dad into the travel trailer. He set up his desk here in the slide, and he's now sleeping in the back room here, where Matthew and I used to sleep. Has all his stuff up here and up here, and I've moved into the master bedroom. Got my blue bed here, blue comforter, all my stuff. So since Dad has moved into the travel trailer, we have completely emptied out the cargo trailer. Here's the power station that he was using in there. And since we emptied out the cargo trailer, we decided to use it today to transport some building materials for the outhouse. We're still working on unloading, but we got some pressure-treated Douglas fir beams, got some OSB plywood, more OSB plywood here that we've already unloaded. We also got some plastic sheeting. We're going to be using it for a vapor barrier underneath the outhouse, a vapor barrier underneath the cabin, and we're also going to use it as erosion control for all of these gravel banks that we have over in the parking lot area, and also over here behind where the cabin is going to be built and behind this Connex. It's been a while since this cargo trailer was on the road. It took us all the way into town, into Wasilla to the Home Depot. It's back being used as a transport vehicle instead of Dad's home. Are you happy to be living in the travel trailer?
There's windows, you can see some light. And it's also not a tin can, not so much humidity building up.
Yeah. We have this outhouse almost graded. We have the pipe here still sticking out of the ground. We're going to be lowering one of the barrels down into here and then backfilling it with dirt and then gravel. So if the composting toilet doesn't work out too well, we might switch to this barrel method where we just...
Pit.
Yeah, pit outhouse.
Yeah, no fun though.
Yep, it's a nice sunny day.
That's made a huge difference.
Yeah, the sun's out, we're feeling better. Not as gloomy today. Ever since we got that new compressor-based refrigerator, we've had a surplus of power. There hasn't been any outages in the middle of the night. Really happy about how that turned out. So we're just taking a break here. We're gonna finish up unloading the cargo trailer. And then we're probably gonna start making dinner and just have the rest of the night
Kind of a
just
fun
be...
night, no work. That's where everything's at. Eat some food.
We're starting a new diet here, both of us, to try to get a little bit healthier.
Yeah.
So we went to the store yesterday, went to Walmart, got a whole bunch of healthy food.
More fruits and vegetables and less sugar.
We just got back with some more lumber for the outhouse. So we're not going to be unloading this cargo trailer. We don't want to put any of the lumber on top of the lumber that's already in the Connex. But here we go, got a bunch of 2x6s, some 2x4s, all the lumber necessary to go build the outhouse over there. This morning Dad backed into my trailer here with the tractor, but no structural damage, just a minor blemish. We're gonna cover it up with some duct tape or some kind of patch tape.
I'm exhausted. I had to cut out like about 20 roots in the rock. Now I'm gonna take some measurements. It's like exactly 31 inches.
It's Tuesday. Dad's been working on the outhouse all morning. Been working hard.
Barrel's going in.
Barrel's going in today.
That's the next step.
All right.
I put it down in and align everything.
We just lowered the barrel down into the hole, packed some dirt around it to keep it from moving around. Making good progress. Been raking up all these small rocks, smoothing out the ground, packing it down a little bit. It's definitely still high over there, so we're gonna have to cut that down a little bit to make sure there's a good level patch right here. Well, I'm getting ready to go chop down these trees. They're blocking the sun. The sun comes right across the sky here behind the trees, and it's been blocking our solar production. I just sharpened the chainsaw blade, so it's ready to go. And we're gonna start with just some of the smaller trees just to get some practice in, and then we'll go for some of these big ones, and we're gonna just fall them into the forest. We're not really gonna bother cleaning them up right now because We can't really get the ATV down here. We don't really have the tools to clean up any trees that we drop. The original plan was to drop all the trees on the south face of the property, because eventually we'll have a solar array system over there behind the shelter logic and behind the utility shed. So all of these trees need to come down at some point in the future. So might as well start here on this corner. Now, what is the best way to get down here? Start by getting this cleaned up around here. Alright, so we're not going to be taking down this tree because it's not very tall and it shouldn't be blocking anything. Let's keep just chopping down some of these smaller trees just to clear the area a little bit. Let's see if we can knock this down without hurting ourselves. Let's get this small one out of the way. It's stuck on something up there. Alright, that tree doesn't want to come down. Easy peasy. Actually, I think I'm going to keep dropping trees that are further into the forest, so all these have a clear place to land. I don't want them getting caught up on other trees. There we go. All right, I'm gonna drop a couple of these birch trees further into the forest here, just so that I have a clear shot for these to fall. I'm thinking this one, and then that big one, and then this one. Wants to go. This thing wants to go, but it's leaning up against that other tree. So I'm gonna just try to get it to. There we go. I mean, that didn't knock the tree down, which is kind of what I was trying to avoid for these trees, is drop these trees first so that the trees in front don't get caught up on them. This is tough. All right, we're over here. We're gonna try to drop these two trees this way. We'll see how that works out. That was a success.
That was nice. That was really nice. Is that your first big tree?
No, I dropped a couple over there, but they get snagged up in the other trees because everything's so close together.
Yeah, maybe when you get uphill it'll go better.
Another good one. Well, I'm gonna go take a break because I'm getting pretty exhausted. Doesn't take much to wear you out. It's chainsawing in a forest. Dad marked the four corners of the outhouse. The outhouse is going to be facing this direction towards the center of the circle. Nice and graded level. We've got the 55-gallon drum barrel. Tomorrow morning we should be ready to get those two railroad ties and place them into position. And then we can do a little bit more plumbing, and then we can start construction of the outhouse.
Chainsaw warrior.
Yep. Well, it took an hour break, so it's time to get some more chainsawing done. Alright, I'm gonna drop these two trees here. Maybe I'll drop this smaller tree first. Yeah, it was. It's a big one. So that's pretty good. All right, that's one of them. It's one of the big ones. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This tree pinched it way earlier than I thought it was going to. All right. We got blue sky starting to... We're making a hole through the forest here. It'll be nice once this big group of trees is gone. Tiring work. It's time to take out that big tree up there. Gonna drop this birch tree right here. I gotta stop getting these chainsaws stuck. I'm about to drop this tree First tree on the bank. Pretty easy.
That's like a pro, man. Wow, that opened the sky up.
Yeah. They're dropping like flies. Look at that, just no more birch trees over here. We have one more right here, and then it looks like another one on the opposite side. And then it's just these ones that are close to the bank. Those I can do last. I think I might call it quits for today, though. Too exhausted. Could get dangerous being this exhausted, dropping these trees. All right, another day. Gonna start day 2 of chopping down these trees. All these trees over here are now gone. And we're gonna continue where we left off yesterday. Alright, this thing's ready to go. Got bar oil. Can't forget this. We're going to start with dropping this tree. It goes up too high, so we're going to drop it down the hill. That's great. Dad went to Home Depot today and got a 45-degree turn. So this drainage pipe now comes back right next to the barrel. And now he's going to bury it back up.
Yep.
And then we'll be ready to move the railroad ties over here into place, right?
Put plastic down and gravel down. Then we'll do the railroad ties.
There's a whole bunch of trees behind me. These two birch trees right here go up really tall. So I'm gonna get those chopped down. And we can actually see down there is the corner of my property. We don't want to get too close to that, otherwise we'll be dropping trees into the neighbor's property. I think these are going to be the last trees that I cut down this far down the bank. And then we'll just start going across the hill here. I'm actually going to knock down these two trees, and then I'm going to work my way backwards for today. I'm not going to start chopping down new trees that way. Alright, next tree to drop is this one, this birch one. Look at that, that opened up the sky. All right, we've arrived at the moment where it's time to take down these 4 birch trees. These are the last trees that are majorly in the way of the solar panels. So I'm gonna move the chainsaws out of the way, and then we're gonna just get these things hacked down. Now I need to be very careful here because these trees are pretty close to the travel trailer. They are leaning away from it though, so I'm not super worried, but I just need to be extra careful. One down.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna do this next one. I don't know if this tree is leaning the right way.
Yeah, hold on, I'm gonna push it. You get closer. Hang on a minute, I gotta get down here. Okay, go for it.
There we go.
Yeah,
Second one down.
I pushed it.
So these two trees are pretty clearly aiming downward, so.
Yeah.
I'm not even really sure how to do this. Yeah.
You cut way too far into that. Wow, it missed.
Well, I made a mistake here. When I was cutting with the other saw, I cut into this handle. I cut into the handle of the steel. Took a big chunk out of it. It's not all the way through, so I think the handle is still strong enough. Man, I'm getting really tired. All right, the last tree, and arguably the hardest, because it's up on this, it's like halfway up this hill. I think I'm gonna cut this pretty high so that it all right, I feel like this is a pretty solid. There's a rock under my left foot and some sturdy ground under my right. So here we go. There we go.
That was a big fall.
Mission accomplished. All right, here's the view from the door. Nice sky here. That fir tree right there actually is still kind of in the way. That kind of bothers me. But we're gonna leave this fir tree here because it doesn't go up too high. So yeah, there's just more birch trees that way. We'll have to cut those down at a later date. All I can say, chainsawing is hard work.
Totally.
Whew.
Takes it out of you.
It's Saturday afternoon. Dad's been making progress on the outhouse. We're using this 6mm plastic sheeting as a vapor barrier and then putting 1.5 inch crushed rock over the top of it just to keep everything dry. We're almost ready to get one of those railroad ties over there and put it into place on this right side of the outhouse.
It gets better when you start getting out of the mud. Can you put it on the bucket?
So we just have to position it, right?
Yeah. I'll go get the tape measure.
54 inches from the edge.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be 16 inches this way. Yeah, that's right, about 16. 54, yeah, a little bit out.
So this needs to come towards the barrel, right?
Darn it, now you're making me wonder. Hang on, I gotta go look at my plans again. Good enough. How close are we?
Pretty close. I mean, it's good. It's just literally a matter of like
The board isn't straight.
it's bumps in the wood, so.
Yeah. Oh, it's fine. When we put the other lumber on, it will straighten itself out. And,
Well, it's time to.
so you just put the rest of the gravel in. We don't. This is our point of reference now. This and the barrel are our points of reference. So we're completely done with the stakes.
I'll go take them all.
Back in the stake pile.
Yep.
Yay, we're done with the stakes.
I mean, we have more gravel here, so we can just pull that all.
We'll bring that over here and
Pull that all this way.
pull that first. We'll level it out first, and we'll see what we're missing.
It's looking pretty good. You're just gonna leave that stick right there in it? Oh my word.
Way out. Bring it in like a foot. Should be only a couple inches from the pipe. 71 and a half.
So this has to come in more?
Yeah, 1.5 foot.
Okay. Just a little bit more.
Just a little bit more. That's good. That's good. Almost 123. 125.
How far away from the barrel?
3 inches. It's by eye. It's pretty close. Doesn't have to be exact, but set it against the hand. Well, it's
That's
like 3/4 inch too far out.
Yeah.
And I say that needs to go that way an inch. 124. Let's do the other one. 123 3/4.
I think it's good enough.
Close enough. Okay, that's position.
Well, here's our pressure treated wood. It's time to start bringing this out. We can use these to check level. Pretty good.
Wow.
That's spot on somehow.
A little bit less accurate.
Great. All right, so I'm gonna try to cut two 70-inch segments out of this log. So we're thinking right about here. Roll it, there we go. All right. That's a nice solid log right there. It's all the way over to here. Nice. All right, let's see if we can move this. These things are pretty heavy. They're really slippery. This is looking good. Yeah. Instead of using each log as a step, we've decided to use one of them as a retaining wall, and then we're gonna have a pad of gravel in front of one of the logs, and then we'll use this nice looking log as the one step that comes down from this dirt over here.
Like, put it like parallel to the other log.
Yeah. You want to set the rake aside and...
Heavy. Like that?
Sure.
We should probably backfill it with some dirt. Yeah. Here, take the rake.
I'll start spreading this gravel.
Yeah, see if you can backfill the log.
Yep.
And I'll bring more gravel.
Or wait, no. Yeah, right here. Good. Back. Well, Saturday night, We're having delicious homemade burritos. Got a bunch of veggies chopped up. We cooked up some hamburger and chicken and cheese filling. We found these new carb counter tortillas that don't have too many carbs.
They split open easy, you gotta be careful.
Yeah, I told you they're pretty delicate. So you gotta be careful.